to be a Giant?
It feels good. It's a good feeling. It's different, obviously, for me, but, my 2 visits here, I felt comfortable. Today, it's been a wild day, but it's been fun, and it feels good. So it's a good feeling to feel good at a place finally. So it's nice.
You kind of take us through the last 24, 30 hours, however long it's been?
It was a lot of flying. I flew in yesterday, had a workout early in the morning, went well, met with the coaches for a little while, saw the doctors obviously, and then took a quick flight back to Cincinnati and came back here in the morning once my mind was made up on coming here and joining this organization. So it's been a while, but it's been fun. It's been, obviously there's a purpose for it, so I enjoyed it.
How'd you make up your mind? The offer, or you just wanted to sleep on it, or
one more time?
The offer was made last night. You just wanted to sleep on it? Or?
Well, yeah, I had to do some thinking, and my family's back in Cincinnati still, so I definitely had to go back and sit down and talk about it.
How'd you make up your mind? Why here?
There's, throughout this whole process, there's been a lot of things happen, good and bad, on a lot of various different ways, and you can do pros and cons to a lot of situations, but I think that, for me personally, a lot of the time I go off my gut and, just kind of instincts, if you will, and that's kind of how I felt about this place.
What are your thoughts on the defense you're joining and some of the talent that will be around?
Well, talent's definitely there. Now, I know that they expect better, and I think that they will be better, and this is the first practice I've seen, and they look pretty good. I know the talent's there. As far as the defense, literally, I'm still trying to wrap my mind around it a little bit. I still haven't been in a meeting, but that'll come with time. And this defense already looked good today, and they'll keep looking better.
What unique skill set do you see yourself bringing to the team?
One more time.
What unique skill set do you see yourself bringing to the team?
Well, for one, I bring experience. I think DRC's played a while, Jenkins played a while, obviously, and I think that sometimes you can't replace experience. It's hard to, it's different when you play 100 games than if you play 10 games. Just the feel and your knowledge of the game in general. And that being said, I mean, even last year when I was in Cincinnati, talking to some of the, younger guys that were there, sometimes I learned stuff from them. So, I'm coming into it with open mind, and, I'm going to learn from them. Hopefully they'll learn from me, and, we'll get this thing going.
Not everyone adjusts to playing in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
After spending most of their life outside, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
How were you able to do that?
Well, I think it started early on for me. I did it a little bit in college, depending on the year, depending on the team. Sometimes I stayed outside, sometimes I went back and forth, sometimes I stayed inside. So I think just starting early like that for me and going back and forth and being able to do both and, transitioning into the NFL and having to do the same thing, I think was kind of a natural transition for me.
What have they told you about your role here?
Well, not a whole lot, but we've had some good talks. We're talking about the slot, and I pride myself on being pretty versatile, and I know we've talked about that with the coaches. And at this point, I'm just trying to learn the defense and a lot of the. Football is football to a certain extent, but the language of it and just the lingo and the little nuances of certain coverages, I'll have to get, and that'll come.
What's it like to leave Cincinnati? Been there your whole career?
Yeah, it's bittersweet. I mean, it was a tough decision to make. Obviously, my family's back there, so that's obviously number one. But like I said, I felt comfortable here, and I felt good about where this team is going. I like Coach McAdoo and really what's he been doing since he got here. So, like I said, I just went on my gut feeling and my instincts, and I feel comfortable here.
Leon, most often free agents, when they look at a place they might be considering, they'll talk to guys they know in that organization. Do you have any friends on this team, in this organization, and what was maybe a swaying point that they might have told you?
Well, I do know a few people on the team, but as far as calling them and asking them for advice as to, good or bad about this place, I didn't do.
Didn't do.
Yeah.
So different set of skills you need playing inside in the slot and playing outside?
Skills, maybe. I mean, it's definitely a different mindset. You got a lot more going on, I think, in the slot, especially in the run game, and and just protections. You're blitzing a little bit more, so you'll need to know protections and what the quarterback may or may not say. I mean, there's other. It's not so much physical, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, you need to be quick, you need to be fast, but you need to be quick, you need to be fast. On the outside, you need to be able to move well, think on your feet, and you change the direction. But honestly, you need that inside or outside. But I think mentally is probably the bigger jump you'll have to take.
Does that need change over the course of your career? Did it become more of a specialized position at all? Or?
As far as, what do you mean?
Like early in your career, you did play some slot. Has it changed as going inside there? Changed since your college career, early in your career?
Like mentally or physically?
Mentally or physically, or the expectations of who you're covering or what you were assigned and so on?
No, not really. I think the only thing that changed for me was just knowing the position better, knowing what it takes. Just like I mentioned, the run game. Like early in my career, I mean, I didn't really think about it too much. I just kind of reacted to it. As opposed to now, you see guards and centers and tackles and quarterbacks doing certain things, and you'll pick up on it. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
How's your back?
Back's feeling good, which is a great feeling. I mean, it's been a long road for me, since I had my surgery in January, but I kind of just been quietly going to work and rehabbing every day, working out, and for months now I've been working out, so it's been feeling good. I like it. I like where I'm at right now.
When do you think you got back to full strength? That around? Recently, or is it?
No, it's probably like
spring,
April, May, somewhere around there.
You'll be ready,
April-ish.
you'll be ready to go on the field tomorrow?
Yeah, it's the plan. I was gonna go today. I was actually half dressed, and then
Before
they told me
signing,
to put the shorts on.
did you happen to look at the Giants' schedule for this year?
I did. Actually, I did. Well, I looked at it after one of my friends had texted me about a game in November, so it's definitely something I'll be looking forward to. No doubt about that.
How soon do you think it will take you to acclimate yourself to the playbook and to the guys to be able to be in a rotation and get the kind of playing time that I'm sure they brought you to get?
Well, as far as the playbook, I think it just depends. I mean, it's hard to say. I think to a certain extent, you obviously need to be in the book and the iPad and studying. And then you need time on the field, and then obviously you're going to need time in the games to. Because sometimes things come up in the game that do not happen on the field, or it happens every game. So it's just like you just got to take steps. And I'm gonna try to slowly work my way into it. The coach has been helping me already. So, and as far as the players, I mean, that takes time too. I mean, you can't just jump into a situation where you already have a group that's been here for the past they had the last month off, but the past 2 or 3 months together, and they know each other. Maybe they've been here for years, so you can't just jump in on day 1 or day 2 and expect to, naturally just blend in with the guys. But just like anything else, you just kind of slowly work your way in, and I've talked to some of them already, and I know a few of them, and they're good guys, so I think that transition will be pretty smooth.
How tough have the last few years been for you physically, and is there anything you still have to sort of manage?
As far as managing, I think every player in that locker room has to do that to a certain extent. I mean, some more than others, but you kind of just have to do what's best for you. Now I do more now than I've done. I did 4 years ago. As far as stuff that I kind of do on my own, whether it's chiropractor, massages, stuff like that. Extra time in the weight room doing certain exercises. But it just all depends, how you kind of go day by day, see how the body feels, and then kind of attack an issue if it's, if you have one.
Is there one specific part that maybe you have to keep an eye on more than others?
As far as my body?
Yeah, past injury type deal.
Really just recently I just been trying to keep an eye on my back, just being smart about it. I mean, especially this year, I haven't played football, but, just as an example, going into my training, you always got to be smart and think about, how is your body reacting to maybe a new training that you're doing, and it'll do the same thing here. Once you get going, you always want to take care of your body and try to get on things before they become a bigger issue.
What have the last 2 months been like for you? Obviously not being with the team, visiting teams, anything like that.
In the beginning, honestly, it was rough because it was a little different for me. But honestly, the last month or so, maybe couple months, I kind of took the approach to block it out of my mind and just keep working. And I figure if I keep working, things will work out how they're supposed to work out. And I'm here now, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Did you sort of have this as like a target when the clock obviously started to tick?
Like a target is what do you
When
mean?
you want to sign on a team?
Well, I mean, honestly, I said that when I said earlier about, try to take my mind off it. But last week it was beginning to be hard, obviously, because training camp started up and I was getting real anxious. And, I was hoping that it would be last week because I like to get in, when everybody else gets in and get going with the team as soon as I can. But it didn't work out that way. But you know what? Honestly, everything happens for a reason, and I'm happy about it. And I'm just trying to get in here, learn the playbook first of all. Get together with these guys, get out there on the field, and it's obviously, like I said earlier, it's different from the playbook to the field. So I want to try to make it as smooth as possible. And I mean, the organization here has been phenomenal. I mean, from top to bottom, they've been trying to make it as smooth and easy as it can be.
Coach Lewis said the other day that they had been in touch with you. Did they ever make you an offer, an actual offer from that?
Say that one more time?
Coach Lewis said the other day that there had been conversations with you about from that Cincinnati. Did they ever
Yeah, we've been having some talks, and offers were there, and we were kind of in early conversations about it. But yeah, we've obviously been in contact for a while.